this is my top 10 films of 2021. So we're going to go this in order, and we're going to start it from the front to the back, and we're going to do this. As you see, there's my list right there. I made you guys a list. So we'll talk about this film first, and we'll move on to things after that. And we'll keep it on Wikipedia, per se. So, as you clearly know, these are my top 10 lists. We'll go in order. This is an order. Now, you probably say, why Dune is so low? Is I enjoyed it, but it's still, like I said, I'm in the... I didn't enjoy it in a way where it left on a to be continued. If it didn't leave me on to be continued, I probably would have put it higher on the list. All these other films, even Impossible, Batman, Long Halloween Part 1 did the same thing, but I already knew that, so that was fine. And plus, I got Part 2 right after, which that's on honorable mentions. I'll do that later, but let's continue on with this. Love Hard. Love Hard came out in November. It's a romantic comedy starring Nia with, I can't say her name, I'm not going to butcher it. So pretty much the story is Catfish. This beautiful woman, see, now you can tell this is bullshit. So this beautiful woman in LA cannot find a man. So she's been catfished so long. At least she's showing that she was a catfish. And she finally finds the right guy. And she, by her past, she should know it could be catfish. Even her friends said it could be a catfish. So she found this guy called Tank or Tag. I think his name was Tag, right? Tag. And Nia, they start, getting together. They start, texting, and she start feeling him. And then she wants her idea. She assumed like he texts her, "I wish you could be here," and she's like, she takes it as, okay, so he wishes I could be here. Let me just fly on a plane and go see him. Even he said that doesn't mean that. That means wish you could be here thinking about you. That's it. But she flies the plane. He get catfish. Pretty much the story, to sum it up, pretty much is the goal is for her, for Josh, the one who catfished her, to be Tag, is to get with the real Tag. So he tells her, this is what you need to do. This is what it, pretty much down the road, you know how it is. His feelings comes involved, and she starts developing feelings for Josh, and the rest of the story. Although it's pretty cute. I said, okay, interesting. And I put it on number 10 because I actually did like it. I thought it was pretty good. And I saw it again a second time on a date with someone else, and we actually did enjoy it a second time. So, yeah, nothing crazy about it. So I said, okay, cool. Move on. Now, Dune. Dune is a masterpiece. And it's called Part 1. The only issue I had with this long, glorious film is a part. And I was hoping for, I didn't know they were going to actually do parts. And I kind of didn't like how it ended. But this one is actually done pretty well. The world they built was fantastic. I liked that world they built. Zendaya was in there too, but she really didn't have that much to do in the role. It has a very Star Wars-esque vibe mixed in with a little Trekkie. It's a very good science fiction film, which if Warner Brothers were smart, they capitalized on what Dennis, the director, created, because he's a great director, and he created some marvelous world, and I think he did a great job. Everybody did a great job in here. Timothy, Rebecca, Oscar Isaac, Josh Brolin, David Bautista, all of them did a great job. Zendaya, only her little role, her little scene, which to say the next film she'll have more to do. It's a fantastic film. Words can't describe it. And it's a very good, lengthy film. So, but I saw it on HBO Max, so it was pretty good. So, yeah. And we will be going to number 8. Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings. I thought this film was going to be terrible. I thought this film was going to be awful. I thought this film was going to be the worst film on the planet. It's actually pretty good. This is honestly one of the MCU's, going back and forth, the MCU's best films. they've done to me, since Endgame. A lot of people say Spider-Man Far From Home. I wasn't a fan of it. This was good. The only things I didn't like is how the rings were used with the Mandarin. That's not if you know the 10 rings, those are not the 10 rings. But anyway, beside the point. Other than that, I thought it was a good film. I didn't like the third act where they had Shang-Chi was taking on this demon-like form dragon, but it looks like we're getting to that realm of now they're taking on more and more crazy beings that look like that, like creatures per se. And I'm not a big fan of it because you know how CGI is. We're getting to that point where CGI is looking more realistic, but I'd rather them still take on each other. But I did like the whole aspect of them fighting. I thought it was pretty good. So, moving on. So, the next one is a film I've been waiting for so long. Oh shit, this is not what I wanted. This is not what I wanted. It's supposed to be Godzilla vs. Kong. Sorry, guys. I should have had them all lined up in a row for tasks, but I just didn't feel like putting them all on that computer. That's why. So, Godzilla vs. Kong. This film here was the most anticipated film for me. I liked the film. I just didn't like how Mechagodzilla was done. I like how it ended, but again, I didn't like how Mechagodzilla was done. I didn't like how you'll hear me say that. I just didn't like how he was done. Human characters didn't play a big factor in here as much as I thought, which is a good thing. It is arguably one of the most, out of all the Godzilla films, it's the best one, but it's not the most creative one. When it comes to the fights, it's the best one we had. I think, especially with Kong and Godzilla taking on Mecha. But I still enjoyed it. It's one of the best MonsterVerse films they've done. Short, straight to the point, and yeah, I have no complaints. And the human characters did their job. So yeah, and that is number 7. Number 6, The Tomorrow War. Now, The Tomorrow War is a film that came out from Amazon by Chris McKay. I wasn't too excuse me, if I can say the word, just too enthralled with this. I said, fuck it, I'm not seeing this. This is stupid. When you add the time travel, when you add aliens, and you got my curiosity, and it was really good. I enjoyed it. I like what they did with this, and this world they create. Hopefully they do a sequel, which they have been talking about. But again, you never know. People talk about it, but they'll never do nothing with it. It didn't make that much because it was released on Amazon. The budget for this was $200 million. God damn. So overall, some people didn't like it because I know a lot of people didn't like it because of what's going on with Chris Pratt. I don't care about that. I enjoyed the film. I think he did a great job. I think J.K. Simmons did a great job. Sam Richardson, he did a great job. He's been everywhere. Yovan, what's her name? Chuck's girlfriend, I call her. She did a great job. I mean, overall, I thought it was done pretty well. So yeah. So, Batman Long Halloween Part 1. I love I love Part 1. So Part 1 was this is also set in the new DC animated universe they're doing after the New 52. The film's also premiered in October on Adult Swim, and it states here the films are also shared continuity with Superman, Man of Tomorrow, Told You So, and Justice Society World War II, which they do. And at the end, you get to see the Flash too, which is pretty cool. Um, so, but Jason Atkinson did a great job of Bruce Wayne. Still, we all know he's great as Red Hood, but I'll take this. I thought this was done pretty well. Josh Duhamel as Two-Face and Harvey Dent, fantastic. I think he did a great job for Harvey, and for just part one, the way it ended, how they were still trying to find out a holiday killer, and I just love how that was done. The whole thing, especially part one. I think part one was a fantastic way to do it. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Part one and part two, and I believe they're on HBO Max. If you have it, if you don't have it, don't blame me. Fire stick it. So moving on. The next one will be number 4, and that is the Suicide Squad film. This is pretty good. I did not think this was going to be good at all. Them bringing the characters back. I did not like the first one. I hate the first one. I love this film. This is probably my favorite DC film next to Man of Steel, Shazam, and this. These arguably, this one here is really good. If I had to do a top 10 DCEU, it would be in the top two and 3. It really would. This film was fun, enjoyable. John Cena was good. Alba was good. Robbie was good. It's just the whole film itself was a fantastic film. It worked. It sucks that it didn't make the money it did. It really sucks because this arguably was the best film that DC has done. And it sucks that a film like this didn't get the money, but just the advertisement and the producers coming out. The producers didn't help the film at all because they were talking about the whole Amber Heard situation, which we all know is now coming out that has a lot more wrong in this than what a lot of people are assuming, which we all knew anyway, because Johnny Depp has not shown those type of characteristics. And even if he did, she was saying more outlandish stuff. But anyway, beside the point, this film suffered from that. And it also suffered for the fact that the HBO Max release. It worked for Godzilla and it worked for Mortal Kombat, but those two are different films. The problem also, too, the Suicide Squad has a tad taste in the mouth. Maybe not having Will Smith play the factor, I don't know. Maybe not having a Snyder cut, the Ayer cut. It's all that played a factor into this, too. And it sucked because the film was a very good film. So, yeah, and that's number 4. Number three. I'm just going to highlight it because I don't feel like fucking typing. See how lazy I am, guys? You'll see the laziness coming up of Johnson. So, Ironic Kitchen, the final. Some might call it the final chapter. I'm calling it the final chapter, the final. So, I saw this on Netflix because they released it worldwide in June or July. And then they also released another one called The Beginning, which it serves the beginning of this, but they released this. You're looking for the most faithful adaptation to an anime, not a Cowboy Bebop live action bullshit, not a Death Note bullshit, not even the Full Metal Alchemist they did a couple years ago. Even Bleach, even though I like the Bleach live action film, it doesn't do it justice. These film series does the Erotic Kitchen manga and anime justice. I love these. I just love this film because I've seen it, and it makes me want to see the other films. Just the fight scenes, the acting, everything. This was good. The characters, how they look like the characters, how they brought the world to life. Like it's really a good world. I would not be surprised they go back into this because this is the most successful adaptation to an anime. I mean, a manga or anime to live action I've seen. This is great. This is fantastic. And this is what I look for. And they nailed it. Everything is fantastic. It's on Netflix right now. So please, guys, go check it out. Fantastic. Do you need to understand the story for this one? I would say watch this one first, the beginning. And then hopefully Netflix gets those other ones and they dub them too. And it go. Because the film series itself, they have about... We'll take the time to look. And that's another reason why I wanted to get this film out for you guys. So, see. See. So, alright. So this is Ronin Kitchen, the manga. It came on. So here's the live action. So there's a Ronin Kitchen, the 2012 version. There's a Ronin Kitchen, Kyoto Inferno. And there's a Ronin Kitchen, The Legend Ends. And there's a Ronin Kitchen, The Final. This is the one we got. So there's a total of 5 films. I would say start from the beginning and watch your way down. The beginning is pretty good. But again, I know Ronin Kitchen because I watched the anime and the manga. That's probably why. But that's why I put it on that list for you guys. So, alrighty. Now, number 2. And we gonna wrap this up too, guys. I know, but I gotta make it. I gotta make it juicy for y'all. All right, of course. The American action thriller Nobody, starring Better Than Saul. If you're looking for a John Wick type of, I want to say predecessor, but a John Wick similar, this is it. This film really shocked me. I didn't think it was going to be that. But Better Than Hall, well, Bob, he plays this guy named Hutch Nobody. He's a former government assassin for the CIA. He has a wife, and Yulin, a Russian mob boss, guarding who is targeting Hutch and his family. So pretty much this guy is targeting his family. Don't know who the fuck he is. Don't know who he works for. So they don't know what's going on with Hutch or Nobody. And they get a lot of somebody out of him. This was, they already talk about they want to have John Wick meet his character, which is weird because they're done by different studios. I think Lionsgate got John Wick. Let me look. Yeah, Lionsgate got John Wick, which is their bread and butter right now. There's potential for a crossover, so they're talking about a crossover, which they should. If you haven't seen this film, go check it out. It's very good. It's one of those films that is very low key, came out of nowhere, and I knew about it because I saw the trailer. So I got to check this film out, and it was really good. I really recommend it. That's why I put on number 2 because it surprised me and it was real good. So, yeah. There's nothing else to say. And the last film, you already know. You already know. One of the best Spider-Man films out of Tom Holland's trilogy. One of the best Spider-Man films since Spider-Man 2. It is arguably the best Spider-Man film of all time. This is a great Spider-Man film. This is fantastic. Tom Holland had his best performance in here. Tobey Maguire, all of them, Andrew Garfield coming back, did a great job. I like how it was done. It wasn't so complex that I was like, I don't believe that, but it was good. I enjoyed it. Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin owned it. Alfred Molina owned it. Jamie Foxx, Mr. Church, and all those actors that came back for their characters did a great job. Even J.K. Simmons and J. Jonah Jameson, he came back. I loved it. Everything worked out perfectly. It just worked. They already talked about the next Spider-Man film. And this time, and I like how they ended with Spider-Man, how he reverted back to the true Spider-Man now. He's supposed to play Spider-Man, not Iron Man. So it's like Sony did hear the complaints. Because my biggest complaint with the Tom Holland films are always, it felt like he was Iron Man. It didn't feel like he was his own man. You know? It'd be cool if he had he kept the Spider-Man tech though, which he should have kept the Spider-Man tech. Everybody's like, oh no, he didn't need it. No, he should have kept it. And everybody's like, how you get that? I said, well, kept it as a remembrance that he was Iron Man Jr. But, so I don't know though. It's still weird. Would they ever, let's say Iron Man comes back for a little bit. Would he forget? The same way with Captain America. Would they forget? They can always dabble with that, and I give Sony credit. Sony owned this film. I'd be like, it was the MCU film. No, Sony owned this. This is a Sony production. I could tell it was. This is not a lot of no. This ain't. This is not a lot of MCU involvement. I could tell it. And I'm glad it wasn't, because this feels like a Raimi and Webb film. It feels like something Sony would do. And on that aspect, I give them credit. So, but as always, guys, like, subscribe. Those are my top 10 films of 2021. Hope you guys enjoy it. As always, like, subscribe. Peace. Have a Johnson day. This is the longest video I've done, 20 minutes. Hopefully, y'all bear with me. But Johnson's out.